Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to be trying out a powder foundation routine. Summer is here, in temperature at least, and if you're like me, I am having such a hard time dealing with my foundation just constantly running down my face. Even by the time I get done applying it and I get dressed and get the boys ready, before I'm even out the door, I feel like it is all just pouring down my face. So, I was watching YouTube, of course, and I believe it was Emily Noel, and she was talking about popular product dupes. And one product that I've been wanting to try forever is from Makeup Forever. It is their powder foundation compact, but I'm just going to be honest, I don't want to spend the money on it to potentially, one, not like it, two, possibly get a wrong shade, and so I just have never purchased it. Well, as I was watching her video, she talked about the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation being a possible dupe. So I started looking up this foundation and I found it on CVS and Amazon. And so they actually did have the lightest shade nude. So I thought, I'm going to give it a try. Well, then once it arrived, I started thinking, what's the best way to apply a powder foundation, especially for someone like me who has dry skin? So I went on YouTube, I looked up powder foundation routine, and I found Taylor Wynn, and I was like, yes, this is the girl that I need to listen to. So I clicked on her video. It's from about a year ago, and I watched it, and as I was watching it, I started thinking about what products she was using and what products I would want to use. So I got my notes in my phone, and I was like, okay, do this, this, this. So that is what we're going to do today. We are going to follow her steps in her powder foundation routine using products that I think would work, and ultimately trying out this Stay Matte But Not Flat powder foundation. So first, she recommends going in with a sunscreen, and I will definitely link her original video down below if you're interested in watching it. So I went in with my Formula 1006 Daily Shield Vitamin C SPF 20, and it's also a moisturizer. So I just went in with that and applied that all over the face and let that dry down a little bit. She then talks about going in with a primer, and she uses the Tatcha, the Silk Canvas. Now, one that I have been using recently and quite frequently is the Hard Candy Smoothing Primer Balm. So what I decided to do was try this on half of my face, and then I actually do have a small sample of the Tatcha Silk Canvas that I got with the Sephora order, and I decided to try that on the other half of my face because I have been wanting to see if these were dupes of each other or not. Next, she talks about the Catrice Illuminating Prime and Fine Dewy Glowy Fixing Spray. Now, this is actually one that I have in my collection because I watched her a very long time ago recommend this, and this was honestly a game changer in my makeup routine, even outside of this powder foundation routine. Just in my normal makeup application, starting with a primer spray, and this was actually the first one I started with, definitely was the first time I noticed a difference in the way that my makeup applied. But in this video specifically, I went ahead and sprayed my face down with the Catrice Glowy Spray. Before you put on your powder foundation, you want to apply any other cream or liquid products. So for concealer, I decided to use my Revlon photoready Candid Concealer in the shade 005 Fair. One of the reasons I wanted to use this is because I didn't know exactly what kind of coverage I was going to be getting from the powder foundation, and I knew that this would cover my dark circles but also not look cakey. It's almost, funnily, it almost has like not a dewy, but just a very light, natural, creamy consistency. Like when you blend it out, it's not matte, it's not super drying. So I thought that this would be a good one to pair underneath the powder foundation. So as you do with concealer, I just went ahead and applied it under my eyes, and I gave that a few minutes to sit, to just kind of build up some of the coverage. And when I blended it out, I did go ahead and take it down onto my cheeks to give the redness in my cheeks just a little bit more coverage. I then set my under eyes, which is what she did in her video, and I used the Wet n Wild Photofocus Translucent Powder. I just took a little bit of it on my concealer brush and tapped under my eyes to set. So now it's time for the star of the show, the powder foundation. Again, mine is the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation in the shade Nude. I got this from Amazon, so I will definitely leave that link for you down below. And what I like about it is it does come with a mirror as well as a compact. So when she talks about how she applied her powder foundation, she said it really depends on you, but specifically she used a combo of a the compact that comes with it, and a brush. So as I was watching her video and looking at her brush, I decided that the closest thing that I had to it was my round kabuki brush by Beauty Junkies, which also came from Amazon. If it's still on there, I will link it for you below. So I started by taking the, whatever this is called, and dipping into the foundation and just applying it all over the face. I started with the cheeks, the chin, and the forehead. Then I went in with the brush when I felt like I had enough product and just started buffing out. Now, what she mentioned is that because there isn't any cream products underneath, besides your concealer, obviously, that you can go in round motions, and I felt like that was the best way to blend out the powder foundation. Because at first I started kind of swiping, and I didn't really like how that was looking, especially in my cheek area. So as I started going in circular motions, it started to blend out a lot better, much more smoothly. So I went ahead and tried to blend it out up into my hairline, which even still, I don't know why I can't get it to pack on my hairline no matter what I do. And then I felt like I needed a little bit more coverage, especially on my cheek right here and around my eyebrows. So I just tapped the brush directly into the powder foundation, applied it where I needed it, and buffed it out. And I even put it on my nose. And I have to say that as of right now, it looks pretty good on my nose. But continuing on, I basically blended this out till I felt like I had even coverage and a smooth application overall. So at that point, it's basically just about finishing your makeup. Today, I wanted to test out these two palettes from Profusion Cosmetics. They're under $5 at Walmart. I got the Blush 1 palette as well as the Highlight and Contour 1 palette. So I thought I would try to contour, and I tapped into this Tan Sculpt shade and applied it, and I felt like I had a little bit of a tough time blending it out. So then I just went in with the Light Sculpt shade as my bronzer, and I feel like that did the trick. And also, when I felt like it really wasn't blending out, I took my brush that I used in the powder foundation and dipped into the powder foundation and just lightly tapped over. I then went in with this cream light shade and just lightly put it down here to give me a little bit more of that contoured effect. And I feel like that did really well. My highlight also came from this palette in the shade Impulse. And okay, on camera, it just looks very shiny and glowy. But in person, holy cannoli, I didn't realize how much of this highlight was going to have. So I definitely suggest you go in with a lighter hand than I did. And for blush, I dipped into these two shades, Sweetheart and Delight. I thought this Delight shade would look pretty with my shirt today, which is a matte blush. And then Sweetheart has a little bit of shimmer. So this palette, I don't know, is that a blush or a highlight? This can almost be a blush or a highlight. It comes with these blushes and then this highlight. And they're really pretty. Actually, this popular blush almost looks like one from Benefit. I might have to see if that's a dupe or not. But that was my blush, bronzer, and highlight. For eyes, I was just playing earlier, and I thought, I'm just going to mess with color. So I popped out my LA Girl eyelux Mesmerizing eyeshadow quad in the shade Tranquilize, and I just basically used all four of these shades. And then I took some of the highlight from the Highlight and Contour palette on my brow, inner corner, and a little bit on the lid. I used my Maybelline Hyper Easy eyeliner to continue practicing a wing. For my brows, I went in with my AOA Studio Sculpting Brow Pencil. And for mascara, I used the Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift in Waterproof. And then my lips is the Revlon Super Lustrious Shine Lipstick in Nude Illuminator. So that is my full face for today. Now let me tell you what my thoughts are. When I first applied the foundation, I thought, uh-oh, it's going to be too dark. When I swiped it on with the white compact thing. Then, as I started to blend it out with the brush, I thought, okay, this could work. Then as I started looking at my cheeks, I thought, oh, I don't like how that looks on my cheeks. But to tell you the honest truth, now looking at it, oh, I forgot. After applying all of your powder products, you go back in with this spray. So you spray before foundation and after all the powder products. So I did that as well. I honestly have to say that I like it. Now, here's the thing. I put the hard candy primer on this side and the tatcha primer on this side. I definitely notice my pores more accentuated on this side as well as my smile line. This side definitely looks smoother. So for me, I'm going to have to go with the hard candy. Primer, 1, in price, 2, availability as far as drugstore is concerned, and 3, just the way that it looks after application of the powder foundation. Now, my chin still looks a little red, but guys, my nose is what's blowing me away. Like, I cannot believe how good my nose looks. Even my forehead looks really nice. Cheeks look nice. For having used a powder foundation, I cannot believe how nice my skin looks. I never would have thought in a million years that someone like me with dry skin would be able to pull off a powder foundation. But I have to say, I'm loving it. I think it looks really nice. Now, the deal is going to be to see how it wears. It is currently 12:25, so we will call check-in time about 8 to 9, and we're going to see how this wears throughout the day. I mean, if this wears well, now see, I feel like my face looks a little bit too dark, so I'll probably just take some bronzer and run it down my neck. But anyway, actually I'm going to change into a t-shirt so you won't even see most of that. Yeah, I look a little too bronzed. I think going in with that dark sculpting shade was a mistake for me. Because that seems to be where it looks a little bit too dark. But anyway, we can always rectify that another day. But if this works, I feel like for summer, this could be a really big game changer. Like, it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel caked on. Like, sometimes with my liquid foundations, I can just feel it. Every time I move my face, I can feel the heaviness. And right now, my face doesn't feel that way. So we're going to see how this wears, and I will let you know my final thoughts later.
You're straight up my face.
Check-in time, it is now 8:30. We've had this on since 12:30. Let me take off my glasses and let's dive in what we think here. Okay, so it definitely has worn off on my nose, which is very typical underneath my glasses. It looks a little dry in between my eyes. Forehead looks nice. Cheeks look nice. Chin is definitely red. It has rubbed off on the chin. Aside from where it rubbed off under my glasses, nose looks very nice. The face looks nice. I do feel like just a little bit right here in my pores, my cheeks look a little bit rough. This side that I used the tatcha on definitely looks more textured than this side, which is where I used the hard candy. So I think I definitely am going to recommend the hard candy. This side definitely looks better in comparison to this side, for sure. Blush and everything held well on top of it. My mascara, or excuse me, not my mascara, my concealer, I feel like completely under my eyes. Even though I set it, I feel like you can already see the purple coming back through where I set with the concealer. It literally looks like it just wore off, like right here and right here. So I don't know if I'm loving that Revlon concealer. So I think other than that, this may be a game changer for summer, because we did end up leaving for a little while and my face didn't feel heavy. When I started sweating, I did not feel like product was running down my face at all. I didn't feel like I was melting in the heat, which granted, today wasn't a super hot day, but I mean, it was humid for where I live. It was a little bit humid. Honestly, I think it looks really nice. It made my complexion look pretty even. I think what I need to do is just kind of perfect how I apply here and how I apply on my cheeks and my chin. So really my T-zone area. I'm wondering if maybe like a more gripping primer would help, or if that would make the powder hard to spread over. That may make the powder difficult to spread. So I think it's just going to require some playing. But do I like this powder foundation? Yeah, I'm actually quite shocked at how well this turned out and how nicely it wore and how flawless it made my skin look and how well it held up in the heat. So I would say that this powder foundation routine from Taylor Wynn is definitely something to check out if you are interested in playing with powder foundations. So I do have this one from NYX, but I also have a powder foundation from Maybelline that I'm interested to try using this same technique to see if it works. I actually might try that Sunday. I think I might try going in with just the hard candy primer and using the same technique, but doing it with the Maybelline foundation, powder foundation. So here is the Maybelline powder foundation. Mine is in the shade Fair Porcelain. I have lost the compact that came with it, but I'm sure I have one somewhere I could use. This is a lot finer powder. Let's see what the color difference is. The NYX powder is more yellow and almost blends in with my skin tone, but then when I actually put it on, it looks a smidge dark. This is the Maybelline, which definitely looks lighter, but I'm wondering if when put on my face, it would actually match. This is the SuperStay Full Coverage Powder Foundation. So I'm thinking I might play with this one Sunday, and if I do, I will leave you an updated findings, my updated findings in the description box below. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you will like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.